Welcome back. You're listening to Morning Ireland at 12 minutes to 8, and we're joined now by another economist. Although this one is a political economist. We've already heard Kieran McQuinn of the ESRI and Stephen Kinsella of the University of Limerick, broadly speaking in positive terms about the government's economic plan. We're joined now by Stephen Donnelly, Social Democrat TD. Good morning and welcome. Do you see, or do you acknowledge that there's a fair amount of useful stuff in this?
Yeah, I think, Cathal, I agree with IBEC's position where they said there's plenty of good ideas, but it lacks ambition. We heard earlier on the show there's been a very serious underinvestment in capital infrastructure and social infrastructure over the last number of years. We're now at the second lowest level in the EU in terms of capital investment. And what a lot of people are calling for, what the employers groups are calling for, what the social sector is calling for, what the educators are calling for, is a serious investment. The economy is growing and we need the social investment, the infrastructure investment, the investment in the SME sector to back that up. And unfortunately, this doesn't do it.
Right. Well, in specific terms, what are you saying they should have done that they didn't?
Well, there's a lot of things that could have been done. For example, there should be much more investment in broadband. I would really have liked to see an orbital a regional road network. We don't know yet the specific detail around how much money is going to what colleges, but what we do know is the total space. And the capital plan, the government is throwing around big figures, 27 billion of public spending. But in reality, when you look at it, actually next year there's only an extra 110 million. That does lack ambition. It means that we're not putting in place the building blocks for sustainable growth over the medium to long term. So it's underwhelming from that perspective. The other thing, Cathal, that I think hasn't been said is that there's not a lot of people trust this government to spend 27 billion of our money. They've only engaged in one serious capital investment programme in their term, and that's Irish Water, which has been an absolute disaster. Had they come back and said, look, we are going to spend a lot of money, it is your money, we've learned some very serious lessons, and we're going to start spending this money in a different and better way, that's a conversation I would like to be part of. That's a conversation I think the Irish people would like to hear. But unfortunately, we can already see the same mistakes that were made with Irish Water are being repeated now. So Irish Water...
How can you see them at this stage, before they've spent it?
Politically, what happened with Irish Water? They came into the door.
Right, that's the past. But how can you say that they're going to get it wrong now?
No, we can't say they're going to get it wrong. What I can say is we're already seeing the same mistakes being repeated.
In what way?
So, for example, Irish Water, what do? They came into the door.
Okay, they said, everybody knows. They know they made a mess of Irish Water.
Bear with me. Bear with me. Yeah, bear with me. So with Irish Water, they came into the door and they said, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to listen to you. We're going to railroad this through. Fast forward 2 years to the capital investment programme, they said we're going to spend 27 billion of your money. I'm on the public expenditure committee. Dáil Éireann is responsible for public spending. What have they done? They've announced this capital programme publicly. So we're already seeing the sort of mindset and authoritarian view that led to the mistakes of Irish Water. So there are serious questions of competence in how they would implement this and how they would be responsible guardians of public money.
Although in a way, with less than 6 months ago to the election, it almost doesn't matter because there'll be an opportunity to have a look at the whole thing after the election.
There will, but I guess it comes back to trust, Cathal. So, for example, we heard the Taoiseach say yesterday, this is not a political manoeuvre. This is perfectly normal. Nobody in the country believes that this is not a political manoeuvre. What are they doing? Potentially 8 weeks before the next election, they're re-announcing 27 billion worth of spend. They're not telling anybody that actually next year it's 110 million, but they're saying trust us, trust us. So already they're saying things which the Irish people know to be absolutely untrue. All
right, Stephen Donnelly, thank you very much. Do you expect an election in November?
Well, I think you'd be foolish not to be planning for an election in November, despite the Taoiseach's absolute guarantees that there isn't going to be one until March. Again, nobody believes that.
Stephen Donnelly,